So I've got this tail shaft made. All done. Got it done at Hardy Spicer. So we've got new unis on the back, brand new unis on the front, brand new yoke on the front. And what we got here and also got a set of brand new U-bolts for the diff yoke. I'm going to chuck this in and see if it all fits. Whoa, that's not what you want to do. Gee, it feels like they haven't left me much room to slide this in and out. What's going on here? Folks, there might be something wrong here. I've got no play to move it forward a little bit. I reckon they've made it too long. Oh, this is a bother. I'll have a fiddle with it off camera and see if I can't work out what's going on. I am a dead set idiot. So I've had a shower and all, and I was sitting up on the lounge just watching a little bit of TV and thought, you know, I can't go back to Hardy Spicer in the morning and tell them it's too short if I've just made a big boo-boo. And you know what? Look at this now. I've got heaps of room. And it's in. Who's the dope? Me. That tail shaft's right. I'll grab those U-bolts that go in the back there and try them too. So here's these U-bolts, or one of them. Yeah, they're going to be fine. That's perfect. Yeah, look at that. I'll be able to get the little nuts on. Yeah, I don't think I'll worry about it at the moment. But there we go. There's a tail shaft done as well. So we're just getting closer and closer got a few more things to do to the guards up the front, and I'll show you them in a minute too. And once those guards are done, this body's ready to come off. Get it up on a rotisserie, and I can start welding it up underneath here, and then I can start welding this chassis up too and fix up all these dodgy welds. Yeah, it feels like it won't be long, but it's still going to be a long while. At least I can get some sleep now. I'll show you the guard stuff in the morning. Good night. So the next thing I'm on to is making some guard braces. Go up under the guard, and there'll be a bolt that sort of goes through here just to hold that up. What I'm going to do is mount it to this bracket here. Now this bracket holds the shell up, the grill shell up. I've got to devise a way to make this all work. And I've cut down this brace here, the standard one, and I'm going to weld that to it and make that work. But I don't want to weld this to that, so I'm going to weld a plate on here and thread it and have bolts that run through that way. It's a real difficult area to work in. At the moment, I've got to unbolt this, which means I've got to take my radiator back out so I can get to the bolt right here. So that's the next thing to do. Now that radiator's out, I can get to this bolt here, and like I said, there's that other bolt on the other side. So I'll undo them bolts, and I'll also have to just put a jack under the front here, just so this doesn't all just fall away. And with that all supported, I should be able to get these brackets out. And then, like I said, put a plate on it, and let's get some thread happening there. Okay, so I've got this jacked up, and I've got the front end supported by some jack stands. So I'm going to get in here and undo these two bolts now, and that'll take this bracket off. As you can see, I've already taken that bolt off, and I jacked it up 1/2 inch so I can get the whole thing out. I've done the same on the other side. Then I'll get on to putting a plate on it and putting some thread into it. So with these lower grill shell mounts out now, I've just got to cut a little bit of metal away from here, and that'll allow for the radiator bolt, lower one that sits all the way in here. I mentioned it in another video before, and this will be the opportunity to cut it now. Well, that's pretty cool. Cutting that out gives me room to get my hand in and put the bolt back this way for the radiator, but it also helps me get this nut on, which holds the shell in, well, the grill shell. Yeah, I like that. So this is the idea I've come up with. Just going to weld this 6mm plate to the bracket here. Going to drill some holes through here and here. I was thinking of tapping this, so all I've got to do is just put a bolt right through. I'll have a think about that first. I'll get on to making this other side and see what I'm going to do. So I ended up threading this plate, and I'm just going to weld it straight onto here. I've got one there on the table ready to be welded up. I've just got some masking tape holding it in so I can get a couple of tacks on there. I'm going to get into that right now. There's another bracket welded up. I'll wait for that to cool down. I'll just run that tap through it again just to make sure I haven't distorted that tap. Clean up that paint. Put a little lick of paint on it, some primer, some colour. I'll throw it back on the chassis and we'll get the rest of this bracket done. Well, these brackets are all painted up now and looking pretty good. I'll leave them dry overnight and I'll bolt them back on the truck in the morning. Well, it's the next day and these brackets came up quite well. It's time to chuck them back in the truck. Well, with that all bolted up now, you can see how that's going to work. All I've got to do now is just put a couple of little spot welds right up in here, then take it all back out again and weld it all up properly. And of course there's the other side to do as well yet. That might just be enough to pull that out and to be able to TIG weld it all up properly on the bench. Well, there's the other side on as well. Same thing, I'll just tack this up and take it over the table and TIG it all together properly. So I've got the pair of these all welded up. The other one's outside just cooling down. I'll throw this in the truck and make sure everything still lines up. I went ahead and cut the end off this. I've got to drill a hole through here and a hole through the guard. I might run 2 or I might run 1. I'm not sure yet. I'll bolt it in and I'll see how it all looks. Well, that's one side all bolted up and complete. Drilled a hole over here into the guard with a little 1/4 inch button head Allen key. That works fine. Time to get the other side finished now. And there's the other side all done. All turned out really well actually. Now, it's probably one of the hardest things I had to do on this whole thing at the moment. I know you'll probably wonder why, but just the mucking around with this piece here on both sides, just the trial and error, it just made it a little bit difficult. I did cut a couple of these before I got a good one, but it was well worth it. Another job to tick off the list.